Good morning, children. Welcome back to our class. So, we were discussing about the Java fundamentals. We have discussed about the different data types. So, in that we discussed about the primitive data types, that is intrinsic and fundamental data types, and also the reference data type. In the primitive data types, it is classified into two types, that is numeric and non-numeric. Numeric data types consist of integer, floating points, and characters. So, if I have to store the integer values in a variable, so I have to give the data type as integer. Integer consists of byte, short, int, and long. So these are four data types. Floating point. So if I have to store the decimal numbers, then I have to use either float or double data types. So it comes under the floating points. And if I have to do the characters, it comes into the char data types. And non-numeric data type consists of boolean. If I have to write either yes or no or true or false, only two values, then I have to use the boolean data types. So in the reference data types, we will be discussing about the class, interface, and arrays. Today we will be discussing about the variables. Variables are the name, storage, location in the memory. So in algebra, we just initialize the value x, y, a, b, c, d, and we just initialize the value. Similarly, here also we need to keep some place in the memory of the computer in order to store the value and manipulate the constant values. So variables are the name, storage, location in the memory which are used. It's one of the components of the program. Variable represents the name, storage, locations whose values can be manipulated during the program run. So when we run the program, that values are manipulated. So for example, to store the name of the student and the marks of the student during the program run, we require the storage locations, that two names, so that these can be distinguished easily. So we can distinguish easily from one value, from one value to another. So it's also called a symbolic variable. So when we declare, the following statement declares the variable. So declaration of variable is that we need to declare the variable. So declaring the variable means declaring variables. Declaring variables means we need to specify what type of values we are storing in that particular variable. So we need to make it, we have to make sure that we have to tell the interpreter what values that particular variable. So we need to specify the data type. So if I want to put the decimal point numbers, then I need to use float or double. If I have to use the integer, I have to use the long, short, int, long, and this type of variable I need to specify. So declaring the variable, when we declare a variable, we have to specify the types and variable name, types and variable name, and followed by this semicolon. So type means, so data type, what type of data type? Suppose if you are using integer type, suppose is. So here I am declaring the integer value. Data type is integer and age is the variable name. So if I write double, salary is the variable name. Salary. So double is the type of data and salary is the variable name. So this way we can declare the variable. So different values we need to specify beforehand what type of values that particular variable will be holding, and we need to take the data types from the types which is provided by the Java. So here this is the way how to declare the variable. Now initializing the value. So initializing the variable, initialization of variable. Initializing of variable means assigning the values to that particular variable. So in algebra we write x equals to 10, y equals to 20. That means we are assigning 10 to y, 10 to x, and 20 to y. Similarly, here also suppose integer is equals to 12. So here I am initializing the value. That means we are assigning the values to that particular variable using the operators, assignment operator. So this is the assignment operator. Equals to is the assignment operator. So all the example definitions in the the simple definition does not provide the first values or initial values to the variable. So variable, so if I write integer type, age is the variable name equals to 12, that means I am assigning the values 12 to the variable age. Suppose this is the memory location is 12, so this is the assignment of variable. So value can be assigned to the variable by using the assignment operators. So you can go through the example page 136. Write a Java program to initialize the three variable name, hour worked, pay rate and tax rate, and then calculate and print the payment amount of the tax payable, hour worked into pay rate and the payment amount into tax. So example is given here in page number, in figure example number 5.1. You can just refer to example 5.1. You can just refer to the initialization and declaring the variable. So page number 136, you just refer to that particular example. Now variable scope. What do you mean by variable scope? Scope means how far that particular variable can be used. So one important thing that you must know about the variable is their scope. Scope generally refers to the program region within which the variable can be accessible. So if I have to use the variable which I have declared in the program, till how much I can use, so that is determined by the braces, set of braces. So these sets of braces declares the scope. If it is inside the braces, then the variable can be accessible. So the broad rule of variable is accessible within the set of braces. If it is inside the braces, then it can be accessed. The scope rules are okay. So next one is the constant. So variable, declaring the variable, initializing the variables is very important. And now the next one is the constant. So what is a constant? So let us discuss about the constant. So constant are the values which do not change while execution of the program. Often in the program you want to give the name as a constant value. For example, you might have a fixed tax rate that is 0.030. So any values, if I have to store the name in the variable, my name is the constant. So these are the constant because the values are not going to change when the program is executed. When the program is executed, if the values does not change, that means the constant. It is convenient to give this constant a name. So it may be of numeric constant, it may be of alphanumeric constant, and so on. The keyword finals makes a variable as constant whose values cannot be changed during the program execution. So when you write a final name, a final keyword, then it will not change. So see the example, class is declared as calculate tax public static void main, that is the main method, string args. Now we have declared the variables, that is double type good tax, but this should not change, so it is written final. So final indicates that it will not change. Final double service tag is also to be initialized as 0.020. Then the braces is starting braces and closing braces, ending braces is there. The reserve final word tells the compiler that the value will not change. When you write the final before the declaration, then the value will not change. The name of the constant follows the same rules as the names of the variables. That is, programmers sometimes use all capital letters for constant, but there is a matter of personal style not a part of the program. So the reserve word finals tells the compiler that the values will not change. So if you write the keyword final in front of the declarations, then that will not change. So these are the constants and variables. So we discussed about the constants and variables. Now we will be going through the operators in Java. So very important one. Different types of operators are there. Operators are tools. Operators in Java. So different operators are there. Arithmetic operators, relational operators, unary operators, binary operators, increment decrement operators, you can just consult your book, page number 142, about the different operators. So let us discuss relational operators and logical operators. Relational and logical. So these are the different types of operators. So what is the arithmetic operators? We all are familiar with the arithmetic operator: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and one more is the modulus operators, which will give the remainder of the program. Okay, which will give you returns the remainder of the division. So Java uses operators. It provides operators of 5 basic arithmetic calculations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. So the symbols, I think you are familiar with arithmetic operators: plus, minus, division, and modulus. This is the operator. So these are 5 types of operation can be done through the arithmetic operators, which are given in Java. So another type of operator is a unary operators. The operators plus proceeds and operand. The operands of the unary operator must be of arithmetic type. So if I write, if a equals to 5, then if I write plus 5, that means then a plus 5 means a plus a means 5. That means this is the unary operators. Operators that acts on one operands are referred to as the unary operators. So unary operator means that can be used by one operand only. It uses only one operands. Unary operators plus is there and unary operators minus is there. The operators unary minus precedes an operand. That means it's used before the operands. So if I write minus 5, that means minus 5 means minus 5. So I can use this operators, unary operators before the operators. Must have the arithmetic type, and the result is the negation of the operand value. So it gives you the negative values. Minus a means negative values. So unary operators use only one operators. That is, it is used before and. Another types of operator is binary operators. Binary operators acts upon the 2 operands and are referred to as binary operators. 2 operands. So if I write a plus b, this is the operand 1, second operand, and this is the operator plus operator used and 2 operands. So binary operator, when there is 2 operand is used while using the function, that is called binary. Binary operators can be used with the 2 operands. So addition operator, subtraction operators, multiplication, division, modulus, these are the binary operators. The modulus operators finds the modulus of the first operand related to the second, that is, it produces the remainder by dividing the first by the second operand. So first and second. So if I write 20 modulus 2, so that means what will be the output of this operator? This will be 0. That means it will give you the remainder. So 20 2 10s are 20. So remainder becomes 0. So I will get the remainder 0. This modulus operators gives back to the remainder. So there is a operators with string plus, that is also called concatenation operators. This plus operator, string operator plus, helps you to join the two string. So if I use the plus operator, it will join if it is a string. So if I write 5 plus 6, then it will give you 56. That means this is the string operators, plus helps you to join the two string. Now the very important operators which are in use is an increment and decrement operators. Java includes two useful operators, that is called increment operators and decrement operators. These are very important. Increment operators and decrement operator. Increment and these are the two operators, that is increment means plus plus and this means minus minus. Okay, so these are the operators which are very useful in Java programming. So useful operators, and it's not generally found in other computer languages, but it is only found in the Java. So these are the increment and decrement operators. The operators adds ones to its operand. So this means if I write a plus plus, that means a equals to a plus 1. Okay, so that means it adds one value. If I write a minus minus, a equals to a minus 1. So it decrements. Increment and decrement operators are there. Now, so however, both the increments and decrement operators comes in two varieties. So we can use these operators in two forms. That means they may proceed or follow the operand. The prefix versions comes before the operand and the postfix version comes after the operand. So it can be used before like this also. It can be used like this also. So prefix and postfix. When the operators is used before the operand, it is called prefix, and when it is written after the operand, it is called postfix. Okay, so two varieties, we can use it in two ways. Now let us see the working with the prefix versions. So page 143. When an increment or decrement operators precedes its operand, it is called prefix. Java performs the increment or decrement operations before using the value of the operand. For example, the expression sum equals to sum. Suppose if this is the expression sum equals to sum plus, so prefixed operator is used, plus plus count. So count is the variable, the operator is prefix. So it's written before and. How it works? Will take place in the following fashion, assuming that the initial value of the sum and the count are 0 and 10. So sum is, suppose initial value of sum is 0 and count is 10. So if this is the case, now the expression will be sum equals to sum plus 1. So when we use the prefixed operators, it will increment the value. So here sum is 0. So this is 0 plus means, so this becomes 1 plus count. 1 plus count. This becomes 1 plus count. That means it becomes, count is 10 and 1 is here. That means it becomes 11. So the sum will be 11. So it will be 11. So the value of this expression, when we use the postfix of prefixed operation, it will be 11. Now the next expressions which takes place in the following fashion, assuming that initial values of p and n is 4 and 8. So if the value of p equals to 4 and n equals to 8. Suppose this is given. Now the expression will be p equals to, so if it is this expression, p equals to P equals to P multiplied by minus minus N. So we are using the prefixed operator. So what will be the value? So it works. So P, we know the value of P. P is 4. 4 into minus minus 1 means, that means minus 1. 8 minus 1. So it becomes 7. The operators work. Minus minus means N minus 1. That is, it will be 7. So 4 sevens are 20. It will be the answer. So prefixed means when the prefix is used, the change will be there and it will change and use the value. It will change and use the value, and if it is a postfix, it will use and change the value. So you need to understand, while working with the prefix version, you have to understand that the action will take place first and the answer will be there. That means, so the prefix increment and decrement operators follows change then use rule. That is, they first change the increment or decrement the values of their operand, then use the new values in evaluating the expression. Now let us come to the postfix version. Okay, in the postfix version, when an increment and decrement operators follows the operand, so after the thing, this one is the postfix, this one is the postfix. After this operator is followed after, this one is the prefix. It is prefix is beforehand. So follows the operands. Java first uses the value of the operands and in the evaluating the expressions before increment or decrement, the operands values. For example, the expression will be sum equals to. So here the expression is like this. In the postfix, the expression will be sum equals to sum plus count plus. So this is the postfix narration. So it takes place in the following fashion. So now